Hey friends, this is the Mrs. Wolfie from Our Half Acre Homestead, and this is the last of 150 pounds of carrots. Today I am peeling and dicing these carrots for dehydrating. In my London Sunshine dehydrator. This thing is a workhorse. I wish I had two. But I am going to have to put my old Nesco into play as well. Now I'm going to drain and blanch these carrots. I like dehydrating them in little tiny pieces. Yeah, it takes a while to get the stuff out from under your nails when it comes to carrots. I like cutting them in little tiny pieces so that they dehydrate better, but they're just the right size for soups and casseroles also. Okay, our water is boiling. Our carrots have been rinsed, and now we're just going to drop them in this stock pot and blanch them. At this size, I'm only going to blanch them for about 2 minutes. Okay, these have been in here about 3 minutes to 5 minutes. The carrots are starting to turn in the water. That means it's coming back up to a boil, so we're going to strain these and get them on the dehydrator. So here's our carrots. There's our dehydrator. I don't know how well you can see it at this angle, but I have the trays with the fine mesh trays on them because these carrots are going to shrink. And here's what I like to do. First off, this is our fruit leather tray, and I use this fruit leather tray as a catching tray in the bottom, but I also use it as a drip tray when I'm loading wet ingredients into the trays. So the reason I've got this in my hand is you'll see in a second, because I have trouble getting stuff all the way to the edge. But if you have an edge there, I wish this kind of had a little 2-inch high frame that you could just rest on here all the way around. We want it all the way to the edge, right? Well, I'm going to have to dice and blanch more carrots because I thought this would fill this dehydrator. It looks like I got lots more room. So, I've still got 2 more trays I can get in here. So I better get to chopping and blanching. We'll be back when the dehydrator tray's full. All right, we have 6 full trays here on our London Sunshine dehydrator. This is one of the things I love about this most. A, it's whisper quiet. It has a timer on it. It'll shut off, which you can, if you use a Nesco or anything like that, you can just grab an electric timer and plug it in and use that. But I like it when it's built in. Change the fruit and vegetable setting to 100. There's our temperature, 131 degrees Fahrenheit. And there's our time, 10 hours. Thumb is not enjoying grating carrot. I might have to just make a cake and be done with it. Now, since I'm grating carrots, I decided to make a cake. Here we have 3 cups of finely grated carrot. This is a cup of sour milk. Don't laugh. You're not going to taste it, and you put sour cream in all kinds of baking, so we're going to use that up. We've got 1.5 cups of sugar and a tablespoon of molasses, 1/2 cup of raisins that I've rinsed because, well, you know, pesticides, right? Here I have 2 cups of flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, a teaspoon of cinnamon, and 1/2 teaspoon of ginger And we have oil. Let's get moving. I'm just going to dump these raisins in the carrot. Just like that. And first things first, we're going to put our sugar and our molasses in this bowl here. I don't know, half a cup of oil. I got smothered pork chops in the crock pot. We're going to mix that oil and the sugar together, and then we're going to crack in the eggs. You could probably get away with 2 eggs, but this is going to be a rather heavy batter with the carrots in it. Beat that all together. But I'm going to do my best to get all this flour, baking powder, and seasoning into my sifter. And I'm going to sift about half of that in there. I'm going to add half the sour milk. You can use regular milk. Now you remember, you want this a really thick batter because your carrots are going to give off a lot of juice. And there is our seasoning, our baking powder, and our flour. And the last of the milk. Whoops! Drop my lid in there. And we're gonna, like I said, this is going to be a really heavy batter, so I'm going to switch over now to a spatula, all together like this. Give it a good stiff beating. And then in goes the carrots and the raisins. Like I said, this is going to be a super moist, heavy cake. So here we go. Get this all in here. You can add more sugar. You can put it up to 2.5 cups if you want. We just keep things, well, I could probably done it in a smaller pan, but I don't want to risk it. And there's our oven just in time, telling us to put this into a 350-degree oven for 45 minutes. Our timer has gone off and our cake is out of the oven. Okay, so this is not carrot cake, it's kind of a snacking cake. It's not overly sweet. And yes, there's raisins in it, so don't bitch. She's not allowed to have grapes, dear.
Oh.
It's bad for her kidneys.
Well, she said she could eat carrot cake.
I didn't say she could eat raisins. It's not cake, dear. It's like a bread.
Well.
For your lunches and stuff. You don't look impressed. Why? Raisins.
Yeah. It's okay. It's not my cup of tea.
I don't know what he's talking about. It's perfectly delicious. I think he just doesn't like raisins. Okay, our carrots are dry. I have some carrots peeled for supper, and the rest had to go in the garbage because they were starting to go moldy. But still, this here is approximately 5 to 7 pounds of carrots. I'm going to go get a smaller jar. Oops. Look at that, Howie. 6 pounds of carrots. Look at that, folks. That's 6 pounds of carrots. Sorry for the sound of my London Sunshine air fryer, because we're having fried chicken for supper. 6 pounds of carrots, finely diced and well dehydrated. Do you know how many pots of soup that is this winter? And I will do a pantry video once I'm finished because there is more work to do. If you're interested, because I didn't even have to pull out my Nesco for this, but if you're interested in a London Sunshine air fryer, look at the link in the description box below this video and use the coupon code BEV15 for 10% off. Mwah! Take care, God bless. Carrots are done! Carrots are done. Thank you, God. Apples and onions next.